If we look in the Bible, we find that there was a disabled man who had been waiting by the pool of Bethesda for 38 years. Yet he waited, and he waited, and he waited. There was a woman with an issue of blood. She had been sick for 16 years, and she had tried everything: the NHS, private remedies, alternative therapies. Well, you know what I mean. When you have a problem, you try everything, don't you? You go to every avenue and every door that you can to try and solve that issue. There was a blind beggar that sat by the roadside begging, asking for a crust of bread, wanting help, but found nothing. We could go to scripture after scripture, story after story of men and women who wanted answers, and yet it seemed, where is God? But there came a moment in those people's lives when they reached out and they found that God was there, and he was the God who answered prayer. The blind man sitting by the roadside knew that today was going to be the day that Jesus was going to be passing down that road. Jesus is going to be passing by. And he sat there waiting for that time. He sat there waiting, knowing that Jesus was coming. But I don't know whether you can imagine the picture. If Jesus was coming, there would be crowds thronging around him and blocking him out. He was blind, he couldn't see. So he sat there and he said, "Jesus, Son of David." No, he didn't. He said, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." Because he was desperate in his need and he wanted God to help him. And you know, we get to that place, don't we, in our lives, when everything consumes us with that need, with that desperation, that if we knew that Jesus were here this morning and he says, "Where two or three are gathered in my name," we come to him. We believe that he is who he is. The woman with the issue of blood, who had tried for so long with every remedy possible, knew that Jesus was coming to town. There were loads of people around about him, and she said, "How can I get to speak to him? If I press through, the crowd's going to be thronging him. How can I reach this Jesus, this God who I know and trust?" But she said, if only I can touch the hem of his garment. That's sufficient. You know, sometimes it's just that little bit of faith that reaches out to God and says, "Lord, I believe. Lord, I trust you. Lord, I give my life to you." And she said, if only I can just touch that hem of his garment, I will be made whole. And you know, as she pressed through the throng and she knelt down or bent down to touch just the hem of his garment, virtue went out of Jesus and she was made whole.